Thank you very much for coming to this session here. My name is Cathal Mahon, and what I'm going to talk about here today is about Deep Tech Lab Quantum. I'm going to talk about the new accelerator that's just been started for quantum tech startups, and I'm also going to talk about its role in DIANA, the Defense Innovation Accelerator for the North Atlantic. So two parts to this talk. So first, that was the whole intro. I'm going to start with this slide first because Deep Tech Lab Quantum is a new initiative, but it's built on two pillars. And the first pillar is the Bio-Innovation Institute. And the Bio-Innovation Institute is an accelerator/incubator for companies within life science. And this was started by the Novo Nordisk Foundation about 6 years ago because they saw there was a need for helping researchers translate their research over into startups. And basically, fast forward to now, these numbers are pretty much up to date. Almost 100 companies have gone through the various programs that Bio-Innovation Institute has. The vast majority have received external funding after they have graduated from the programs. And you can see in the bottom right-hand corner that over 80 million euros has been granted in funding to these companies from the Bio-Innovation Institute. But they have managed to secure 5.4 times that in external funding, the vast majority of which is private capital. So this is kind of one of the pillars that Deep Tech Lab is built upon. And the second pillar is well, I'm sure everybody here recognizes this guy. This is, of course, Niels Bohr. And what the other pillar is basically Copenhagen's quantum legacy, but which, even though it started over 100 years ago, it still continues to this day. Right now, the largest number of quantum-relevant graduate students per capita anywhere in the world, that is Denmark. So number one on that list, even though it's a small country, a very high percentage of the graduate students are basically within the quantum tech space. We're also number two in Europe in terms of unique first authors publishing in leading journals. And the third thing, which referring to Ebbe's talk as well, in Sweden they have the Wallenberg Foundation. In Denmark we have the Novo Nordisk Foundation. And the Novo Nordisk Foundation is extremely active in promoting funding for basic research and translational research as well. And this last item here, this is the Novo Nordisk's latest initiative, one of the biggest initiatives, which is the Novo Nordisk Quantum Computing Program. This is a program in phase one to the order of 200 million euros for the first 5 years and probably the same amount for the remaining 7 years as well, probably even more. So €500 million euros over a 12-year period, where the mission is to build a fault-tolerant computer that can solve a problem of commercial relevance within life science by 2034. So this is very, very long-term thinking, very long-term strategic focus. And this is basically one of the two pillars that Deep Tech Lab is built upon. And just like Ebbe said as well, actually, it's not entirely coincidental that we're at the Bio-Innovation Institute, because Bio-Innovation Institute is tapping into life science research and also the very strong life science industry in Denmark. But by combining this with the strong position within quantum information science, basically we have Deep Tech Lab Quantum, which will be physically located at the Bio-Innovation Institute. We will leverage and build upon the existing programs that BII has, from their Bio Studio, which is pre-incorporation, all the way up to Venture House, which is for companies targeting Series A funding. And finally, we will have a particular focus on this intersection between quantum technology and life science. Denmark is a very small country. We can't do everything, but we feel that we have an opportunity here to leverage two of our strongest areas and make a bigger impact in the quantum tech startup scene. So I said there was going to be two parts to this talk. This is from our opening in September this year, where you can see Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg is opening the Deep Tech Lab Accelerator office space with 3 Danish ministers. And the reason why he is there opening the accelerator is because the very, very first program that we're going to run is going to be for DIANA, the Defense Innovation Accelerator for the North Atlantic. Let me just give you a little bit of background about DIANA, because it's quite relevant, particularly at this conference, when I can see I've been going to this conference for a number of years now. This is the first time I've seen Northrop Grumman here, and I think that's very interesting. So first of all, the objective of Diana is to sharpen the alliance's technological edge, and by so doing, strengthen transatlantic security. And we heard about that this morning as well in the talk from Northrop Grumman. And the way that's going to be done is basically by focusing on a number of emerging and disruptive technologies, kind of the offset, as was mentioned. One of these technologies is quantum, of course. And there are three ways that this is going to be effectuated. The first of all, it's the network of accelerators and test centers focusing on developing this ecosystem of companies that are working with these dual-use technologies. So they already have civilian markets. They may have some defense and security markets, but many of them don't. But this is an opportunity for them to actually investigate whether or not there is a market for them in defense and security. And it's also an opportunity for the end users in defense and security to leverage these technologies that are being developed by these companies in a very, very innovative civilian market space. The second thing is funding. There's a new multi-sovereign fund, the NATO Innovation Fund, $1 billion in the very first fund, but secondary funds are in the process of being established already. And third is this rapid procurement process. To be honest, both the first and the second means are prerequisites for success for Diana. But if the third, the rapid procurement process, is not implemented as well, then the defense and security market will not be very interesting for these startups, considering they already have their civilian market applications as well. So this is, all three of these means need to be executed upon flawlessly. So this is just an eye chart to give you an idea of what the Diana network looks like. There are 11 accelerators. These are highlighted in green, and there's like over 90 test centers. They're the blue dots. The ones that are shaded, the text in green, you can see there are 2 in the US, 1 on each coast, and then there are 3 in Europe. And those 5 accelerators are those that are part of the first pilot accelerator program that will start here in January. And the companies, 44 in total, have been selected based on their responses to these 3 challenges. You can see there's sensing and surveillance, energy resilience, and secure information sharing. And for people here in the room, then I think it's pretty clear that sensing and surveillance and secure information sharing are probably the ones where it's more likely there will be some impactful proposals based on quantum technologies. And that actually turned out to be the case. We will have 6 companies coming in starting here in January, 4 of them within the secure information sharing space, and 2 of them within sensing and surveillance. And I have a chart here that just kind of gives you a quick rundown on each of these companies. I'm not going to go into too much detail about, explaining what they each do, but maybe I just add a few comments. There are 6 companies from 5 different countries. 2 of them are from the UK, but the remaining are from respectively Spain, Lithuania, Turkey, and Canada. So it's a very, very broad selection of companies spread geographically. And the way that we will run the program is that they will come to Copenhagen once a month for a 3-4 day period where there'll be intense courses and networking events where they can meet mentors, where they can meet potential industrial partners, etc. And then when they're not on site, then we'll obviously be keeping contact with them and helping them address the challenge, as is the whole idea with the program. So, as I said, this is on our website, and the reason why I haven't kind of got much more than this is because basically these companies, the names of these companies was only just released here on Thursday last week. So it's very, very fresh news. So please, I'd encourage you to go in and have a look at these companies and see whether there are some areas where you think it could be relevant for you maybe to talk to them. It may have something to do with some of the things you're working upon yourself, or you could even potentially be a customer for these companies as well within defense and security. And with that, I'd just like to give you, because I can see the clock is ticking here, what is the state at Deep Tech Lab Quantum right now? Well, as I said just before, the first cohort, they will start here January 24th. But we also have plans to, as I said, Diana is the first program that we're going to do, but we're also in the process of standing up one of our own programs, still in pilot phase. This is what we call QUIL, so this is Quantum Tech and Life Science. This is going to be at this intersection of quantum and life science, and we expect to be starting in February. And this is open to any startup anywhere in the world. There are some requirements regarding how much funding one has received, but the only kind of really strict requirement is that you have an office in Copenhagen in order to be able to receive the funding, which in this particular case is half a million euros over and it's a 12-month program. There are more details about that that'll be coming up on our website very, very soon. As I said, this is still something we're standing up, but please, I think I have my email and contact information is here, so please reach out if you want to hear more about either of these programs, either the Diana program or the Quills program. Thank you very much.